Hello, welcome back. Today it's a Game Master workday, Game Master preparation. We have magic items, homebrew magic items. That's on the menu. This is the topic for today. And as you can see before you, I have collected up pretty much every single Dungeon Master guide I could find or Game Master guide that I could get my hands on. They are pretty much all in front of me, even if you can't see every single one. I've stacked them on top of each other. So my suggestion, like I always do, is make sure you get some food, some drink, get comfortable. I'm going to do a presentation. This is very much the same presentation I always run. It's going to be fairly quick. This is not a very long one. And then we're going to go straight into making some tools for you. And there's a reason why I've put the question up there, or the poll up there, to just sort of see where people are at, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right. I think I've got everything lined up, and we should be ready to go. Hi, welcome to Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about role-playing games. And specifically, the topic for today is Game Master preparation. This is Lesson 5, creating magic items. And of course, if we're creating magic items, we're creating homebrew magic items. Not just any magic item, it's got to be homebrew magic items. So what is the overview for today? What are we actually covering? Well, we're going to be doing how to create a magic item, creating a balanced magic item, we'll discuss that, magic item inspiration, where you get your ideas from, the process of making a magic item, and some miscellaneous recommendations. Now that sounds very short, and it is supposed to be short. Now the objectives is to explain how to create a magic item or homebrew magic item for your role-playing game, demonstrate the process of creating that homebrew magic item, and also allow you to practice. So you're going to be part of that process because you're here part of the live stream, so we're going to actually get you involved. So make sure you have your brain ticking along because we've got lots of things to cover, and I'm going to be pulling ideas from the audience and using my own to sort of build everything out. Okay, how to create magic items. Often the creation of homebrew magic items results in a string of problems for a game master or a dungeon master. So players will generally want more power and more options for their magic items that they find in the game. And this, of course, affects the game master's preparation process, because how do you develop a challenge if the things that the players have are stronger, more effective, or give them more options? Well, you have to kind of ramp things up again, don't you? Magic items can drive the role-playing game campaign, though, if a game master makes it a major feature of your whole campaign or your adventure by turning the magic item into a MacGuffin. Basically, it's necessary to have this thing, such as the One Ring from Lord of the Rings. So my suggestion is start small, incorporate homebrew magic items slowly into your game to reduce the number of issues that will occur. It will not stop your problems, even if you're using pre-made magic items from any source. It doesn't matter. It's going to have an effect on your game. But at least it's not your fault if you included it and it was your homebrew magic item. Okay, you can say, oh, well, I've included that into the game and it was something that somebody else made. And also, too, there's a lot of improvising required around magic items. Magic items are supposed to be quite powerful, but often magic items that are built with only one thing in mind, and that is a benefit, when they probably should have benefits and drawbacks as well. But we'll get into that more in a second. Okay. Creating balanced magic items. It's the one big question that I hear the most is how do you go about making and balancing magic items for your role-playing game? So it's not practical to create a magic item that is in fact balanced for your role-playing game. So in the game of Dungeons & Dragons 5e, characters don't actually need magic items in the game to be successful because the character classes are not built anticipating that you have to have magic items at a certain level. The mathematics for it is not set up that way. Now, something like Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 or 4E or even Pathfinder First Ed Edition required that characters have magic items to keep up with the monsters in the game. If they didn't have them, they would probably not survive. And so there were a certain number of slots, certain parts of the body you could have them on, and you would have a certain amount of them. And so you would follow that guide and hopefully everything would work well. And I can assure you that even under older versions of Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, and probably other role-playing games as well, that really never ever happened. I'm sure there's somebody out there who will argue the point that yes, it can be done. Mathematically, it can be done. And that's in theory. In practice, it really never did. Okay? But it's going to be harder if you're playing modern versions of any kind of role-playing game. The power of a magic item from greatest to lowest looks like this. So when you're creating your own stuff or you're using magic items in your game, this is where your power balance kind of looks. And that is, first, whether you realize it or not, it's actually mobility. Mobility in the game is the most useful thing that a magic item can have, not damage output, surprisingly. Granting some sort of extra magical power that they didn't have before is probably the next one down. Then specific magical effects. So this is where you have, there's a bit more limitation to it. It's not necessarily granting extra magical power. Instead, it's more about maybe you can cast the magic missile spell off this item, or fireball or something like that. Then you have the martial combat aspect. And actually, it's quite low down on the list. Surprisingly, and yet it will wind up being your biggest problem. So martial combat bonuses, such as a bonus to attack or damage, really they have one of the, not the least, but one of the least effects on the game ultimately. And then miscellaneous utility. Like if it's a utility function that really isn't combat focused, you'll probably find that it's not a big deal. The only exceptions that I can think of are And this actually falls under mobility, that is invisibility and flying. So flying's a big deal, invisibility too, but I would say flying is definitely, that's under mobility. That's why it's right at the top. Yeah. So I wouldn't classify invisibility and flying under utility. It's going to be somewhere else. It's up the top. Now, magic weapons, armor, and combat-focused items will generally generate the most issues for you. And it's not because of the fact that they are, going to have the greatest effect on the game. Often it's because they are the things that people make first. They are the things that people include in their game and the things that they homebrew first, whether it's a magic bow, a magic sword, any kind of magic weapons, magic armor. These are the things that they tend to wind up focusing on first. And because of that, that's why they see this problem occur. It's not because they gave the players an item that allowed them to fly because they had a flying broom. No, because they probably didn't put that into the game or create something like that, or a flying carpet. Instead, what they did is they gave them a +1 or a +2 sword, which did a little bit extra damage and a little bit more to hit. Okay? So it's not necessarily a wise starting point for a game master or dungeon master, even though your players are probably going to be pushing you for this, particularly the martials. Okay, now utility magic and magic items is the best to create for your player characters, as they have the least effect on the game, and they usually will not affect combat design very much. In terms of your combat encounters, it's not really going to have an overly strong effect on the game. So those are the things that you want to focus on. So utility magic items. Now, common magic items tend to be the lowest power level, and I would suggest that is a good starting point again, okay, with your game. When you're creating anything, start with that. Now, the power of a magic item can be adjusted over time if you start with a low scarcity or rarity. So starting with something that isn't too powerful and making sure the power level is quite low will assist you in successfully avoiding overpowered magic items, because it's easier to go from a magic item that isn't very powerful and increasing the power over time, rather than having a magic item that's too strong that you don't know how to deal with and then having to downplay that magic item or eliminate it from the game, because players don't like that sort of thing. Okay, Well, that's interesting. I'm not sure what that's all about. Okay, sorry about that. This is telling me stuff, and I shouldn't be. No, geez, I hate that phone. Okay, anyway, going for your inspiration for magic items. Sorry about that, people. Inspiration for magic items can come from a lot of different locations. Here are a few ideas. I'm sure you have your own. Harry Potter movies and books have great examples of simple magic items that don't really sort of have a huge effect, and they have an assortment of different fun effects, things that are quite cute, interesting, can be used outside of combat, and also to add a lot of flavour, but also good at resolving or solving problems. So Harry Potter movies, I think that's a good place to start. Novels on fantasy and science fiction that include magic items. This is another place you can draw from. Historical magic items from mythology and legend. I would say that you'll find a vast number of them are weapons, but you will find things that have, Pandora's box is a good example, where you have a magic item or a magic box, and the effect is quite disastrous. If anything, it's not a benefit to have it at all. Then you have computer games, video games, the magic items there. You can draw from there. Common and simple magical effects from the role-playing games are a good source for your items. Now, I'm going to refer you to Xanathar's Guide to Everything. There are examples of common utility magic items with odd effects, and that's on page 135 to 140. But if you don't have that, don't worry, because we'll create some. Now, antiques, heirlooms, trinkets that aren't magical can be given magical properties. And I would recommend, if you find a trinket table, there's lots of them floating around on the internet that you can access for free. But one of the great things about the Player's Handbook for 5e is the trinkets table. It has a lot of potential, but that's not the only one out there. And I can assure you, you can download and find all of these for free without having to go and buy the Player's Handbook. Now, older versions of Dungeons & Dragons also had magic items, some which were quite bizarre. The Spade of Farming is probably a good example. Can't even remember if it was actually called the Spade of Farming, but basically a spade that allowed you to dig a hole faster than normal is an example of a rather odd, but still potentially useful item that's utility rather than doing damage or helping you in combat. Now, the process of making a magic item, what does that look like? Give a magic item an interesting or obvious name to tell part of the story of the object or to indicate the function of the magic item. Okay, that's one of the key things when you're creating your magic item, is giving it a name that fits what it does. Create a magical effect that has a benefit or a detrimental effect. Not all magical items that you homebrew need to have a beneficial effect. Some of them may have just detrimental effects. Some of them might have a mix of beneficial and detrimental effects. Now, if you need special magical weapon abilities, there's a list of them in the Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder 1st edition on page 123. And then you can also find minor and major beneficial properties listed in the Dungeon Master Guide for 5e on page 219. There's also minor and major detrimental properties listed in the DMG for 5e on page 220 to 221. And lastly, properties and quirks are listed on page 143 of the DMG for 5e. Now, there are many other books that have references that you can use, and I'm going to refer you back to the likes of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 1st Ed edition. You will find that there's a bunch of different things you can use there. Even the Dungeon Master Guide for 4e had a whole lot of stuff. The new Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide for 2nd Ed edition actually has a chart of 100 different ideas. Not all of them are brilliant, but it's a good starting point and it's worth having a look at. And you can probably pull from other resources as well if you're playing a system that isn't a D&D esque system. Maybe you're playing something else. Okay, you want to what is the history or intent of the magic item? Okay, this is one of the things you want to develop. And the DMG for 5e, page 142, if you've got 5e as your DMG, which very few people actually use that often. Determining the power level of the magic item. So I guess the easiest way to understand this is whatever system you're using, figure out how powerful you want it to be. And that's what you're going to do, is you'll set that up first off. And every system that you use has usually a guide for helping you determine how powerful you make something. Select the appropriate scarcity or rarity for the magic item helps define power as well. So the more rare it is, the more powerful it should be. The more common it is, the less powerful it should be. The bond required for the magic item or the attunement of a magic item helps stop player characters stacking too much powerful stuff. There's a reason why we have bonding and attunement in a fantasy game. So magic bonds or attunement is the best to assign to magic items that are permanent. So if they have a permanent effect, you probably want to assign attunement to it. Or something that doesn't run out of a magical effect. Some things have one magical effect every day, some have a couple of different effects and then they recharge at dawn. Some of them need to be recharged, like they have only so many charges. Once you use it up, that's it. So attunement and bonding with a magic item is a way of controlling the number of magic items that are being used at one time. And you probably want to use bonding and attunement of some kind. So does the magic item have charges? I've kind of just mentioned that before. Now there's a couple of ways you can do charges on a magic item. It can be used a certain number of times, say 50 times, and then you have to recharge it. It might automatically recharge. If it automatically recharges, then there'll be a timer set in place, maybe a certain number of days need to pass. Maybe it only charges at dawn or at dusk, who knows. And then maybe you have a recharge process where you have to take the magic item somewhere to recharge it in like a magical pull. And this is how a lot of the older versions of role-playing games, D&D included, used to recharge magic items. You could not just go and wait for it to recharge automatically. You had to go somewhere, pay money, or do a favor, and get it recharged or complete a quest. Now, permanent effects, they're always on. Like permanent effects mean that they never run out. And then there's single use or consumable magic items. So you need to decide. Single use magic items usually aren't very powerful because you can only use them once and then you throw it away, okay, or it disintegrates or self-destructs. So that is some of the things that you need to consider. I always like to do some miscellaneous recommendations, and so I'm going to give you some miscellaneous recommendations today. Expect to make mistakes with magic item creation. So whatever homebrew magic item you make, it's going to happen. You're going to make mistakes. Consider this, that everybody does make mistakes, so it's all right. It's not the end of the world, okay? Because everybody had to go through this at some point. And why should you be excluded? You are only a mortal person. It is fine to take existing magic items and reskin them into something else, okay? If you don't want to actually have to do very much and all you want to do is just rename it and use an existing magic item, then fine, just do that. There's actually no mathematical formula to item creation that will avoid players finding a way to exploit them. Now, no matter what system you're dealing with, whether it's not a D&D-esque system, but no matter what version of Dungeons and Dragons it is, no matter whether you're playing Pathfinder, nothing out there has a mathematical formula that is absolutely exact, that can never be exploited. Okay, that will not necessarily result in an issue for you, because players, no matter what you give them, will figure out how to use something to their advantage. That is the whole point of playing a role-playing game, is to figure out how to solve problems with the resources that you have. And if magic items do things that rope and grappling hooks can't do, then they will figure out how to use them in the most effective way. That's the whole creative process. So no mathematical formula can account for that. It's just impossible. Now, I'm hoping that this was all useful to you in some way and that you got what you needed from it. And if you did, fantastic, okay? I want to thank my patrons who support me so I can run this program every single week. I want to thank you for watching. And hey, I'll be back. And till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, let me jump into the screen. I need to drink some water. Man, I need that holiday. That holiday time is so necessary right now. Okay, for those of you who are here, don't run away, because we're going to make some magic item properties. We've been working on a magic item property table. We're going to make some more magic item properties. We're going to fill it out, okay? We're going to give you a toolbox. And that toolbox, of course, like everything that I do, will make its way to Patreon, or you will simply write it down off the live stream and make up your own table if you've got plenty of time, okay? So let's go through chat, talk very quickly, say hi to everybody, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to respond to the poll a little bit later, but let's just see my imagination. So most of you are actually working off your own brain to figure out your homebrew magic items rather than using any kind of tool. So maybe this won't work for you. We'll see. But my desire is to actually create tools for you. Okay, I'm having trouble seeing the top comment here. The Cax Max, is it the Cax? Cax Max. Hello, Cax Max. How are you? Unless I have an agenda, I like random spell tables. ESP, low-level spells, making wands equivalent or are useful things. Okay. So you can use them a couple of times a day. All right. So Fred Hubber, welcome. You've missed the start, but it's all right because you haven't missed the important part. We're going to be doing some building very, very shortly. I'm going to move a lot of the stuff in front of me out of the way, and we are going to work our way through an existing table we already started and try to make it a bit more robust. Just the intro, this is good. Yeah, so... So the intention is that the presentation at the beginning just gives you the basics, okay? For a lot of you, it may be stuff you already know, and that's fine. So hello, Norok. Norok is a patron. How are you doing? Personally, I just use my imagination. And Norok, you want to stick around. Norok has some of the best ideas under the sun, and so does Fred F. Hubber. So you definitely want to stick around. I've always been incredibly impressed by Norok's ability to come up with really clever ideas that aren't just your standard. It does an extra bonus to attack, or it does some sort of damage. Like he's done some great stuff. When I homebrew, I am usually going for something specific. So I tend not to use tables or building tools, which is fine, Norok. But we're still going to build them because I know there are a lot of people out there who need them. And much to my surprise, although there are tables out there in some of the DMGs and Game Master Guides I showed you, they're not that great, which is kind of strange. You would have thought that would be one of the things you would have in the section when it talks about creating magic items, is you have a tool, like a table that allowed you to give you a lot of different ideas. In a high magic world, every kitchen gadget you see advertised as a magic item. Yeah, and that's actually a good point, Fred Hubber. Is like you can, it's like, I guess, the Jetsons, or you're basically making magic items instead of technology. Yeah. Yes, Pandora's Box is a classic. What's the Pandora's Box isn't an item, it's a trap. That's also a MacGuffin. Well, I suppose you could... No. Pandora's Box is an item, but I would also say it's a trap. And I would also say it's a MacGuffin, yes. But it's definitely an item, yeah. Let's say it's an artifact. It's artifact level. I like powerful magic items that eat other permanent magic items to recharge. Oh, I see. Crazy. Okay. Hello, Pale Rider. How are you doing? Right, let me just get myself organized, because we were working through this last time and we did a reasonable job. And with the addition of a few more resources, I'm sure we can do even better. So let's just get my phone running. This is going to be awkward, but we'll see how we go. I've got my page ready to fire up. Come on. There we go. There it is. I want this. You got to be kidding me. Bear with me while I just get everything lined up, because I can't track it off my my computer. I'll have to track off my phone the chat. Okay, right. So let's move over to our workspace, and our workspace is this. And let's pull it up. There you are. There you are. Is my head small enough? Yes, it is. Lovely. Haha. What's going on here? So it's giving me a different view here to the one I have there. That's weird. This is odd. Can I do that? Is it happy now? All right. Okay, that's better. Switch it over. There we go. Workspace. We're in. Let's get started. Let's get it typing. So right now, this is the magic items property table that we've been working on. We've already got a whole lot of stuff in here, which I haven't filled in all the details. It's no good, first off, to write just a single tag name. We need to give some people some idea of what the magic property does. This is one of the things we've discussed before. The usefulness of something is very much dependent on its description. So we need to be very specific about that sort of thing. And I'm aware that I need to fill in a lot of stuff. So I'm going to type in here, and you're going to throw things out. This is the alphabetical order. Hashtag. What are some interesting magic item properties okay, so the best way to do this is a tag name if you can, and description. I'm going to be writing in stuff myself, by the way. If you can't get a tag name, it's all right. We will develop one later if need be. So right now everything is in alphabetical order. So right now it goes from A right through to, there's a few spaces in here. We're probably about, there's probably about 45. So we're less than halfway through the table that needs to be made. If we try to come up with 100 different things. Okay, let's have a look here. Pandora's is a magical one. Players will figure out how to weaponize a Pandora's box, I'm sure. What do you got here, Pale Rider? Fred, I know you said you didn't need the Back Me PDFs, but I sent them anyway. I'm aware, Pale Rider. I know you sent them to me. I'm sorry if I haven't responded. This week has been crazy. I'm running out of steam, and so there's a lot of stuff going on at home that I have to deal with, so I haven't been able to do due diligence on everything that people have sent me. So I apologize for not responding sooner. I saw it and I was like, I just don't have time to do it right now. So yeah, but thank you for sending them. Okay, and I will probably bucket them in together in a folder. And in the future, Wally DM is going to be teaching me how to build a Back Me character. So a basic D&D character. So you'll see that come in the future. I don't know when. And you may not see it on my channel. You might see it on somebody else's channel. I'd be hanging out with some other people. I know AJ's up for it. I'm up for it. Wally's up for it. We just need 2 more suckers to do this. Okay. But thank you for sending it. Okay. Where are we? Nearest fish might be 6 days travel. Good luck. Minor basic items. So please, when you're putting in your ideas, don't just give me combat damage stuff, because I'm not going to write that stuff down. I couldn't care less about that. And it's nothing to do with you and what you think is important, but nobody needs that on a table. Okay, they can figure that out themselves. They don't need any of that sort of stuff. So things that do 1d6 fire damage, or 2d6 necrotic damage, or have a +1 or +2 or +3, none of that is going onto this table. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Okay, you can figure that out yourself. That's It's not hard to do. Okay, this is the idea engine basically. A major basic item I tried and get when I sling with a catapult spell used a few times a day. So useful. So here's another thing. So actually, the Cax Max, another thing, don't specify an idea that's a spell that exists in IP. Because whether it can be used under Creative Commons, I couldn't care less, or copyright, it needs to be reformulated. So you need to re-describe it in some way. Okay, so don't say, oh, this magic item has the invisibility spell. You can cast the invisibility spell. Don't describe it like that. Describe it as if Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, and other role-playing games IP does not exist. Okay, in other words, you don't use that stuff. Does that make sense? Okay, all right, we'll keep going with this. Superman suit that gives you Spidey powers. A Spider-Man suit that gives you Spidey powers. So really, what you're talking about is spider crawling. See, I know you're thinking spider climb, but let's have a look and see if we've got spider climb here. We've got spider climb. Spider climb is kind of already an IP thing. We're going to call spider crawl. Spider crawl. The magic item. Okay. What's the best way to describe this? This item allows the wearer to climb vertical surfaces and I guess upside down. There we go. We already had the idea. I've just filled it in. It's not necessarily worded in the best way, but we'll get better at this as time goes by. I consider this a first draft. Okay, what else have we got here? It's all good. No need to respond. I will respond. I just haven't had time. I see freedom is in question. The item prevents you from being restrained and grappled. Your movement can't be reduced. Freedom. See, freedom. Freedom. Did I have an entry that said freedom? I did. It is in question. You are right, Noroak. So let's fill that in. So the easiest way that how have you described this? So you've actually described it really well. So I'm going to just cheat and just rip it straight out of the chat. Copy. That's a dirty trick on my part, but saves time. Paste without formatting. The item prevents wearer from being restrained, grappled, and okay, so got it. We've got that down. What else have we got here? Camouflage. Are you filling in the gaps for me? Are you? You are. Nice one. Okay, so somebody else has put something here and I've missed it. Implement that aids some type of cooking, boiling, frying, whipping cream. Okay, so we don't have a tag name for it, but it's going to assist us in cooking, which I know people are thinking, well, let's go here and we'll do this. Now, what we want to do is we want to make the speed at which it can be done a lot faster. Implement instantly cooks fries, cooks, boils, or fries food. What do you think? Is that kind of what you were after there, Fred? I think it's a good idea. I've just added in the implement instantly cooks, boils, or fries food. And I've stipulated food, but I suspect that if, depending on what it is, you might have somebody trying to cook. I just don't want people to use it necessarily to cook goblins and orcs in battle. You know what I mean? So I just put the word food for now, because I think that's what your intention was. Okay. There's also an article in there about making custom classes I thought was interesting. So I'm going to come back to custom classes because I don't know very much about doing that, but I know that what people make and the way that they make classes in pretty much every role-playing game I've ever played, particularly Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons, I've almost always hated. I've almost hated every single one of them. And truthfully, I've always hated the older ones as well. Although I feel like we lost a lot of stuff, it just drives me nuts. So at some point, I've got to figure out how to put together a class on teaching people how to create races and classes for a game system. And I'm not an expert, so I don't know. So hopefully that'll help me. I don't know how feasible that is. I really don't. Let's do new things. Yes. Okay, so we've got that. There's also an article there. No, makes the target or target area frictionless. That's interesting. Do we have anything that's kind of like that? I can see all sorts of shenanigans with that. So we don't have a tag name for it, but you've got your idea. The item makes the target or target area frictionless. It's a really good idea. I like that. It's cool because it's definitely utility. To bear in mind that this table does not necessarily have to steer away from combat stuff. It doesn't have to do that. It's all right to have combat related stuff here. It's all right. It's just we want to be as broad as we can. Yeah. Okay. Camouflage could be described as the item allows you to blend into the surroundings. Yes, that's exactly where it probably needs to be. So we'll get camouflage. And I'm moving very slow compared to the rest of you who are firing ideas out left, right, and center. The item. Now, where are we going to do that? The item allows the wearer to perfectly blend into the surroundings, environment. Let's do that. We want it to. It's not invisibility. It's something else. So yeah, good, nice one. We'll do. Yeah, we're doing. Okay, right. Got that. The spider suit. We've done the spider suit already. Spell gun holds up to 6 attack spells. Can be recharged by casting spells on it. So I'm not going to write down. We're not actually making a magic item. We're making the properties. So I'm going to dissect your spell gun, and I'm just going to say it holds up to 6 attack spells. Okay, and has to be recharged. I think that's the easiest way. So it's just about. I guess I suppose the tag name could be spell gun, but I hate it. I hate the tag name, but I like the idea. And I guess the problem is with having something that stipulates like a certain number of spells. So the item holds a number of spells the item holds a number of spells that must be recharged. I'm not going to stipulate the recharging system. I'm just going to say that. I mean, it's pretty common as a magic item property to have something like this. So yeah, so we'll put that there. Rechargeable spells. It might be, maybe that's the tag name, rechargeable spells. I don't know. How do people feel about rechargeable spells as a tag name? I think that would do fine. We'll cut that. It's an R. R. Put it there. Paste. There. Okay. Next. What's it? Or do you look at? Okay. For Rust, Norok is filling in the gaps here. This is what Norok does if you hadn't figured it out. While in possession of the item, you can choose to corrode metal you touch or see. Holy shit. Oh, all right. Let's, okay. While in possession of the item, you can choose to corrode metal you touch or see. That's strong, but that's Rust. That's Rust down. Well done. Effect. Swap appearance with target. Swap appearance with target. Do I have something that says swap? Change appearance. The item allows you to swap their appearance with a target creature. I think we're going to stipulate creature, otherwise you're going to wind up disguising yourself as a, I guess a laundry basket or something like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's not the thing you would disguise yourself. So we're going to call it, do we call it swap appearance? That's probably the easiest way to call it. I mean, it's in the description already, but swap appearance is probably as easy as we can make that. So we'll do that with the target creature. Here we go. Let's try that. Swap appearance. There we go. Yes, we'll do that. We'll make it a little bit longer than it needs to be. Cut. S. Swap. For those of you who don't know, Mazes and Monstrosities, the role-playing game that I've been working on, is now on Patreon. And I have sent it off to my brother to tell me what I need to do so it can be turned into a formal book with art. But the draft and future drafts will be available on Patreon. Okay? So if you wanted to see what it's like and wanted to point out the problems, you can. Lie detection. Always knows when someone is lying. When within hearing range, does not have to be talking directly to the user. Okay. Always knows when someone is lying within hearing range. Does not have to be talking directly to the user. You've specified quite a lot there. And I don't think we have anything that says lie detector. So, Pale Rider, I'm going to actually pull that straight out of the chat, okay? If I can find it, which I'm struggling to. Why can't I find it? Rust. Lie detection. Recharge. Teleportation. You guys have got a few things here going on. Oh, here we go. It's because I'm so far behind. Okay, all right. So I'm going to have to... All right, so I'm going to do a switch with my screen. And because it's going to get really messy if I keep jumping back and forth on this. I'm going to try to catch up on all of the stuff that you guys have pumped in here. Because I haven't. I'm well behind. I'm going to do a quick grab and drop, grab and drop, grab and drop. Yeah. Now... L and paste without formatting. Lie detection. We'll take lie detection for sure. And you guys, are you guys trying to hit 100 items today? I'm like not in a hurry, but I feel like somebody else is. Okay, fries. Picky fries. You want the word fries? Well, is it really fries? I don't know. Is this differentiation? Fries? Define. Plural fly. Recent. No, first. No, fries. No, fries. Third person presents fries. French fries. I'm not going to worry about it. We'll worry about it some of the time. Okay, Noroak. The food could be called foodie effect. Can understand and be understood by the target, including cultural references and nuances, as if a native speaker. That's an interesting effect. I don't know what you would call it, but I like the idea. Let's grab that. We'll put it at the end of our document, knowing that we have to label it at some point, which is fine. That's all good. It's okay. There we go. Let me just see if I have any. What else I got? Shenanigans are good. Yeah, so first off, the concept of making classes balanced I always had problems with. AU make a targets prone. Area of effect, make targets prone. Yeah, okay. Makes targets prone. Let's grab that one. We will go back to the document, people, so if you're wondering why I'm not showing you all this stuff, it's just because it's just that I'm trying to catch up faster. Because everybody's moving quite a bit quicker than I am. Yeah, I don't like subclasses. I think subclasses and multiclassing kills classes full stop. Include scent as well. Scent. Camouflage includes scent as well. I don't know about that. Do I want to do that? No, I won't worry about that. It's not so much. Yeah, let's leave that alone. Okay, teleportation. I thought we had teleportation here. Did we not have teleportation? We just didn't have. I didn't have it defined. Fred's just written in the description. Okay, I see. Oh, I see. Teleport. Okay. It's anything deposited in the local cesspit. All right. Okay. Flight. The item gives you the ability to fly for certain periods of time. Yes. Yes, we'll pull that. Copy. Flight. F. Frighten. Flight. Paste. Okay. Am I actually catching up? Are you guys just going faster? Cursed item. User thinks it's great, but negatively affects him. Cursed item. We're going to pull that straight out of chat. We can do that. I feel like curses need to have their own area though, but let's come back to that. I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, oh, what would be the next thing you might need as a tool? The user thinks that it's great, but it doesn't effect on them. Okay. Cursed item. Next. Oh, I need a drink. You know when my tongue and my lips are working and you can hear them, then I'm getting really dry. Scent should definitely be included. In the camouflage thing, I'll just leave it. I didn't include vision. I just put it down the blend. Rechargeable spell sounds good to me. Okay, good. Encumbered. Oh, hi, Big Kid. Big Kid is also a patron. Welcome. Big Kid. Something that makes target encumbered. That's a very interesting concept. Let's take it. Let's put it in here. And we go, the item makes the a target encumbered. All right, we're adding some weight to them. Okay, good, got it. Effect. The item powers itself by adding a level of exhaustion to the user. Okay. Something that everyone can smell except the creature affected. I'm not sure what that means. What do we got here, Max? Oh, I see. Oh, this is you're putting in a detrimental property. Okay, I see what you're doing. Let's do that. I don't know what to do with it right now, but we'll put it in. And all right, sweet. Phew. Am I getting to the bottom? Shrink. You can shrink items and creatures you can see. Oh gosh, yes. Okay, I think we might have shrink already, but if we don't, we I think you've been looking at this this table anyway, and you spotted the holes. Shrink. No, there's shrink. There it is. I knew we had shrink. We just didn't have anything in it. Norok is spotting the spot, the gaps and filling them in. All right, so shrink and oh, come on, Fred. Oh, rust. There's a use for gold plating all your gear, and quite apart from the body. You're fine. Yeah. Orifice fills a volume of air with smell. Okay, all right. Orifice. I was thinking just the word scent. Wouldn't the word scent be enough? We could just use the word scent. Orifice. Did you just want the word orifice in here? Is that what you were trying to do? I mean, it's the sort of thing that I would definitely be trying to get into a live stream. Is can I get them to actually say toilet humor stuff? Orifice. Okay, scent. It's actually very tempting to write down perfume. Fills a volume of air with smell. With a smell. Got it. All right. Oh gosh. Here we go. There aren't enough Z's and Y's on the list. I shall think of some. I'll stop it. Just fill in the gaps. You're doing fine. Do you have to have a dimensional space yet? Like a bag of holding or portable hold? I don't know. A dimensional space? I don't know. I have no idea if we have. Book. Do you need a proofreader? I do it as part of my work. We'll do yours, no problem. I have somebody who will do the proofreading for me. It's just not happening right now. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is. When placed in the vicinity of an edible food, it slowly starts consuming rations. But thank you for the offer, by the way. The Cax Max. When placed in the vicinity of edible food, it slowly starts consuming rations. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this. It is going into down the end. We're going to tag it at some point. And we'll see if we come back to this. This is very strange. Okay, I'm never going to catch up with you guys. Zeal. All right. Is there a way I can stop the... No, there is no way. There is no way, because if I jump back, I don't run off two screens. So you can't see anything that I'm doing as I'm trying to catch up with you. Zeal. The item boosts your morale, preventing you from being... Right, okay, that's fine. Zeal. Copy. We'll put Zeal in. We have a Z now. Are you happy? I'm sure you are. Zeal. I have a whole bunch of things that I can put down, but I'm not going to have time to even get at them. Anything intended to be left hand becomes right-handed and vice versa. Anything intended to be left-handed becomes right-handed, vice versa. Good Lord. That is bizarre. That is so bizarre. You know, people, when we do this, it's all right for it to take a couple of times. I mean, granted, we do magic items what once every 2 months. Is that the problem? Is because we only get to it once every 2 months? Your yarn, the item gives you guides you towards a location. Yarn. Is it yawn? Yarn? I'm confused as to what that's supposed to be all about. But I don't have time to think, do I? I'm just going to keep writing your stuff down. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Here we go. So I got that down. Okay. The Cax Max effect. But uses folds into the wheel instead, so it doesn't have a bag of holding and a portal hole. Boom effect. Oh no, we want that. No. The Cax Max. I definitely want that as a that's got to be there. Yeah, that's. We want a boom effect. Never taken that away. Bioregeneration for armor or clothing. If the item is damaged, it will eventually repair itself, heal itself, repair itself. So yeah, so it's repair. Okay, so let's self repair, something like that. I don't know. Let's drop this in here for now. Okay, so the item, if the item is damaged, it will eventually repair itself. So self-repairing armor and weapons, quite a useful idea. I'm impressed. It's not a container, but an actual hole that goes all the way through a well. Eventually, you can pick it up. For here has that a portable hole and a true portable hole. We'll do dimensional space. We will. Oh my God, I'm never keeping up with this. Okay, right. Let's go back to this for a second. If I share the screen back and forth, it's just going to be a mess. So maybe it's just going to be my head as I plunk this thing, and then I will show you the document at the end. I think that's the best way, because it's clear to me that I am struggling to keep up with the rate that you guys are firing stuff. Okay? And for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to write in dimensional space. And we'll put in something for dimensional space later, but you can't see that right now because I've hidden all of that stuff. Okay. Returning. For throwing weapons, returns to the wielder after it strikes or misses target. So Pale Rider, your idea there, that's quite interesting because I've used that more than a few times. Like just weapons that return. Or magic items that are returning. But returning, yeah, it's a good idea. Yep, absolutely. Returning. Return, I think it's about there. Returning. Thrown weapons, return to the wielder after it strikes or misses target. There we go. It's in. You want it, you got it. It's amazing how often that gets used. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Norok, Pale Rider, nice job. Okay. Got it from the Palladium games. It was a special type of elven armor and rifts, South America. Okay. For smell, that affects can't smell, but everybody can. It would be lilac, and they wouldn't be aware, but everyone else would be. I don't know what to do with that, big kid. I'm not sure how to. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with that. Sorry. Fear. My world, elves and biotech armor isn't living wood, living mushroom, leather, similar. A lot of what? Not D&D. I see what you're doing here. So you're saying repair or heal. I see. Now I'm starting to understand that, what you were trying to do there. Returning. So where is this? Self-repair or heal. Repair itself or heal. Okay, so I've just added an extra thing. We've covered our bases now. Ever full for quiver and sling stone bullets, or even thrown dagger shields. Okay. Ever full. So let's do. So Pale Rider, we'll grab that. Not a bad idea at all. Let's grab this now. Always full or ever full? I feel like ever full is, as a name, it's a little odd. Can we do better with that? The idea I like. Ever full. Ever full. So quivers of arrows and bags of stones. Never become empty. Okay, so I've got that down. Next one. Protects user from exhaustion. Effect. Okay. The problem with exhaustion, when you refer to exhaustion, is exhaustion almost primarily is just a 5e concept. And to be fair, I'm not just building for 5e users from exhaustion. So exhaustion or fatigue. Fatigue kind of gives us a bit more going. Like we know fatigue. And is it protecting? It's doing something else. The user never becomes exhausted or fatigued. I think that's better. Yep. The user done it. Come on. User never becomes exhausted or fatigued. Tired or fatigued. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's more like it. Now we're talking. Item yells out the name of what you're doing, but gives a bonus of some kind at the same time. I'm just going to stick your first idea there. I'm going to take that first thing. As it's a property table, we probably need to consider that it needs to still look like a property. But I like the first idea. It yells out the name of what you're doing. That's very unusual. Okay, what else we got? So zipper or joining and parting. It's a small portable strip of fabric with a zipper that when you lay on or around an object allows you to unzip objects in two parts or join two items together. Okay. Yeah, okay, this is something, Charles. Charles is a patron, by the way. Hello, how are you, Charles? Let me just drop that in there. It's quite complicated. I'm just trying to think if I can simplify it. Yearning, pronounced yearning. Yearning? Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to look that up. This is, I'm not sure what this is. I'm going to have to come back to this. I'm putting it down though. Oh, I know. I can tell. I'm top of the hour. I know what you guys are doing. You're trying to get 100 today, aren't you? I know it. I know you're holding back. No worries. We shall hold back a little. Okay. Let's see if have I caught up. No. Yeah. Self-loading returning. Doesn't need to be strictly for weapons. Probably. Okay. It looks like I can see the last 5 entries in the chat, so you can start moving again if you want to, people. Okay. Then what about a mug of returning that you can recall if your hands, if you actually, I don't know, that's, dear, interesting. I see what you're doing here. I feel like the idea can be translated over. It's cute. I really like it. If in rage, so you can quote. Sentient. The item has a mind of its own. Communicate. Telepathy. Yes. Okay. So let's grab this. This is very much. That's very much. So I think at this point we're all good. I can transfer back over so you can actually see the Google Doc now, because I've actually managed to catch up in your string of ideas, which has been just going like a bat out of hell. Like, there we go. Let's transfer back over. Here we go. So I'll show you what you have been spitting at me so quickly and so fast. I'm really impressed. So there's a lot of unnamed stuff. There's why there's a space here. Okay, these are a lot of the ones that I'm a little unsure what to do with. So there's quite a few of them, but you can see we haven't got all of them. There are some blank spaces that need to be filled in, but we're kind of in the range of 70 with 30 more to go. But don't need to worry, because I have a table here that's supposed to help us with this, okay? So I'm going to say, I'm going to take a 5-minute break or less, and I want you to take a 5-minute break as well, okay? So that I don't come back and find you have spat out a whole lot of more stuff and I have to try and jumble to keep up with you. So go get a drink of water, go to the toilet, go get some food, okay? Hashtag. Take a 5-minute break. I'll take a 5-minute break, you take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back to this. I misunderstood the goal here since I was super late. Disregard everything I said. Don't worry about it, Charles. I will figure out how to make it work because it is. So this here is 100 magic item properties. So we're trying to have a tag name for the magic item, a tag name for the property, and a description of what it is. Okay, but I want you to take a 5-minute break, people. Don't go straight to work yet. Go get some water, some food. Come back. I'm going to go use the toilet. Okay, all right. I'm keeping back in here. Let's have a look. I'm going to take my hat off too, I think, because that hat is making my head overheat, and it doesn't help. Right, so back in here. Summoning magical animal creature, reusable item that summons a useful creature. Well, I'm not going to say a useful creature, but I'm going to say a creature. I can do that. We can do that. Not a problem. We'll do that. Where are we? I think it's S-U-V-W. Okay, yes, here we go. Summon creature. Summon creature. The item allows the wielder to summon I don't even think we have to put creature there. I can just throw summon. That's good enough as a tag name. Summon animals, creatures, or monsters. There we go. Cool, got it. Collapsible, stores in small space. Folding is similar. Yes, okay. So collapsible. Where are we? Collapse. Collapsible. Collapsible. The item well, what is it? Becomes smaller or folds in some way. Okay, all right, I got it. Well, not with. Okay, I'm a little lost on this. Collapsible, got it though. Limb replacement item with will replace a missing limb made of almost any material, including flesh. Okay, limb replacement. Do we have to call it limb replacement, or do I call it replacement? That's limb replacement, or light limb replacement. Well, let's do this. Limb replacement. Otherwise, you might be trying to replace your head. The item replaces. The item replaces a missing limb made of almost any material, including flesh. Okay, cool. Limb replacement, got it. Okay, got it. Next one. Here we go. We're back into it, aren't we? Sunder. The item destroys its surroundings over time. Norok. Wow. Okay. It's an item of mass destruction. Dear. There we go. Let's do Sunder. The item destroys its surroundings over time. Over a period of time. Okay. Got it. Sunder. Okay, I'm not sure what will not with was. Fear. Item causes a fear effect on enemies. Fear. I think we had fear already. Did we? Flight. Frighten. Frighten. We had frighten. Fear, frighten. We're going to use the frighten instead. So Pal Rider is coming. The item causes fear in a animal, creature, or monster. Okay. Frighten. Bardic tongue. Gives a bonus on any attempt to seduce. Okay. To generalize a booster that works on part of a skill rather than the whole skill. Only problem is, what if you're dealing with a system that isn't based on skills? Then you might say, well, you're using an ability check or a dice roll test or something like that. It's got mechanics tied too heavily into it. This is one of the things that I'm trying to avoid, is anything that is so heavily tied into a specific game system. I know what you're trying to do here. I think we have a charming effect already, don't we? Do we have a charm? Charm. We don't have charm. But we could have charm, because I could write charm in. And I think charm would probably do what we need it to do. So let's go here. And this is part of the reason why I was saying hold off, people. Because guess what? We've got this table here as well that I can pull from, that we made before, which is on Patreon. But anyway, charm. So I think that's what you're trying to get at. And We haven't got something that does in a charm effect, so let's have that there. Surrender is a sudden effect, also useful. Sunder. Is that what sunder means? Define sunder. Let's have a look. Split apart. A universal sundering ages ago in a divine war. Split apart. Sunder. Okay, let's change sunder a little bit. Where are we? Where did I put sunder? Here we go. The item splits apart. Item okay. The item causes the environment to split apart. And that's it. I think that's sunder. Split apart. Okay, the item causes the environment or other objects to split apart. So now we've got a couple of things going on there. Okay, that's sunder. Transmuting changes the material to a different material. Flesh to stone, lead to gold are examples. Okay, that's a good idea. Transmuting. Transforming. New substance like. Okay, hang on. Transforming to a new substance like. Okay, so this is. I think this is what this is here. You wanted to be transmuting rather than transforming. So we'll do that. Do this way. Transmuting. Item changes materials to a new substance like stone, metal, wood, etc. Okay, transmuting. We've got it. Transforming will be something else. Okay, all right. So that's fine. Gives the lycanthrope abilities at will without a curse. Lycanthrope gives the lycanthrope abilities at will without a curse. So your description, Pale Rider, is really good. The only issue I have with that is it's way too strong. Without having the drawbacks of being a lycanthrope, it's too much of a brainer to want to have it. That's my only issue with that. Yeah, that's my only issue with it, is it's just way too strong. I'm going to put it in the pile of I don't know about, really. Gives the lycanthrope abilities. Ah, shit. Abilities without the curse. Yeah, it's a big question mark. There's a big question mark. I'm really not sold on that as an idea. Effect. Check bonus for a single narrow effect. No. Oh, I won't put that down. Sorry, sorry, Max. I'm not putting that down. A check bonus for a single narrow effect. I wouldn't put it down. It's like adding a +1 or damage roll bonuses, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. I'm going to leave that. Tree walking. User can move at a normal movement rate through the branches of the tree canopy. Good Lord. Okay, I'm falling behind again. So that means I'm going to have to switch back over to my head. While you guys pumping out the ideas like left, right, and centre, I think that's the only way to keep up is to just do this rather than go crazy. At least you get to put up with my balding head instead. How's that sound? So that I can at least keep up with you. So, tree walking. Let's do tree walking. Things that do numerical bonuses are really not something you need on a table. You can do those, you know. Game masters do it all the time. It's easy stuff. Okay, tree walking. The user can move at normal movement at the normal movement rate through branches of a tree canopy. Okay, all right. I think we've got it. Let's put it in the right place. Cut that. T. Where's T? T. Tree. Treat me to... There we go. Paste. Okay, got it. Next one. Vampire. User can heal by drinking blood. Oh, okay, we've got that one. Let's go in. Vampiric. T-U-V. Vampiric. User can heal by drinking blood. Oh, lovely. Effect. Wearer wielder is always clean and well presented. There's prestidigitation. Use magic. Nice simple effect. Let's put it on. And here we go. I might even make this worse. You guys might just go faster since you can't see how far you've got. Gravimetric. The item decreases the mass of what's on it. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Gravimetric. You've got question mark here. I'm not too sure why, so I'm going to leave that question mark there for now. Okay. Sober. User can consume alcohol without negative effects and could surviving poison. Instead of poison damage, I'm just going to say poison. Bonus. And can't be poisoned. Let's get rid of the bonus and you just can't be poisoned. I prefer that more. So sober. Yes, sober. There's a time to give people a bonus and there's a time to just let them have it. Have what they want. Okay, here. Paste. Sober. User can consume alcohol without negative effects and can't be poisoned and can't be poisoned. That's all it needs to be. Well, let's eliminate any of the wording that is tied to a specific role-playing game or a game mechanic. For teleport, okay, the item allows you to teleport yourself. Okay, here we go. Let's put this in. You've got that all sorted out. Teleport, TTT. The item allows you to teleport yourself and or others to locations you can see or be or have been 2 before. That's what we want to write. Okay, got it. Data port is done. I like gravity effect. That's very, yeah. Use the gravity on a dragon, force it to land, and then slay it. Slay away. I'm sure it could help you with a lot of other things too. Aging acceleration causes rapid plant or animal growth and maturing. Oh, okay. Aging acceleration. Interesting. It's interesting. Who would have guessed there are so many different things you could do in terms of a property? Oh my. Geesh. Okay, got it. Okay, causes rapid plant or animal growth and maturing. Okay, got it. That's down. Fred, I got it. Next, read magic. User has the ability to use scrolls. Okay. Yes, let's do that. I remember read magic. Read languages. Oh, we've got read magic. The user of the item can read all magic symbols. Oh, we've already got it. We've got read magic. Okay, we're all good. For where it always is clean. Dapper, yep. How's it going, Michael? Michael is a patron. How are you? Okay, so I got to the end of the chat, which means we're going back to the scene so you can see what's going on. Thankfully. And there we go. Here's our document. For those of you who wanted to see it, there it is. We've got our document back. So, as you can see, we're in the 83 area. There's a lot of things that need to be tagged, which we'll get to. A few things I'm still trying to work out how to sort of finish off. There's a few spaces to be filled in, but we're doing pretty well. And I'm going to add in slow fall. Slow fall. That's what I want. Actually, slow should probably be somewhere else. That's scent. Why did I put center there? Scent should be somewhere else. Let's go cut. And we'll put scent right there. There we go. Paste. Slow fall. The item allows the user to float, I guess, gently to the ground without taking injuries. Slow fall. Okay. What do we got here? You guys have already pumped in a few things. Shout. Michael, I am just trying to keep up with everybody. People are pumping in the ideas. Shout. Let's do this. Give the user a spell effect. Shout. Skyrim Dragonborn style. I don't know what that means. I mean, I'm happy to write down shout, but what is shout? You've got to define shout a bit more. For shout to be useful, it's got to be defined a little bit more. Otherwise, I don't know what that's going to do. So, shout. Whatever that is. Effect makes hard items flexible on command. Oh, that's clever. That's clever. Let's see. Okay, so the item makes can make hard items flexible on command. I don't know what your tag it is, but it's interesting. And the converse, the flexible item that becomes hard on command. Like, oh, I see. All right. Copy. Paste. The user can make soft items harder on command. I think that's what you're trying to say. So I got them down. Okay. Vocal. The item can speak. Okay. Vocal. V. Right here. The item can speak specific languages. Okay, we're already getting into the Skyrim shout. D&D's power word spells. Oh, okay. I don't have power word in front of me. Can somebody re-describe what that would look like in a sentence, in a short sentence, what it would look like? Because right now, there's no way, I can assure you, I'm not putting it down as spell effect from Skyrim or spell effect from Shout or power word as in the power word spell. I'm not doing that. But if it's re-described, that's different. Right now, I don't think I can keep up with that idea. So, yeah, I'm not saying no to it, but it's got to be re-described. Effect makes coffee without additives as required. Ah, you're funny. Oh dear. I can see the problem is that we haven't tagged everything, but I can see we've got 11 more to go, and I can see what's going to happen. Far away, people. You might as well. Let's just get to 100 and be done with it. I mean, it's not like I couldn't get some stuff in there. But anyway, you might as well make it happen. The number 100 just seems to be calling. Okay. The item makes coffee with, is it without additives? With additives? With additives. As required. Okay, all right. What else have we got here? Do we have something that's enlarge or grow? We've got shrink. E for enlarge. What about grow? G for grow. Enlarge, grow. Let's call it enlarge. EF. Enlarge. The user can make creatures or objects grow larger. Now you can separate these two. You wouldn't necessarily say, oh, magic item does both. I'm just bundling it together. Remember, it's a illumination makes light. We have light already. Oh dear, I can see it's coming now. Yeah. Happy. The item makes you happy. That's clever. That is so funny too. Happy. I know I've missed a few people. Don't worry, I'm coming back to happy. The user becomes happy. Okay. Sharpness. Decapitation once with every hit. Oh, it's the Vorpal sword. So we have light here. If you were wondering if we had light, I'm going to show you the magic item glows or creates magical light. We've got it. So light's all right. We've got it down. Sharpness. Did I have sharpness in here? I don't think there is a sharpness here. So we go sharpness. Sharp. HI sharpness. Sharpness. The item's blade. Decapitates creatures with one blow. Basically, you know what it is. Alice in Wonderland, Snicker Snacky, it's that Vorpal sword thing. That's funny. Xylophone. Really? Immune to certain types of environment, cold, hot. I guess temperature immune. What is it? What are we going to call this? Temperature immunity. I don't know. Temperature immunity. The user is immune to extreme cold and heat. Okay, I think that's what you... Weather control? Oh, okay, weather control. Weather. Weather control. Sheesh. Okay. I don't know what... We haven't got anything yet. We just got weather control. That's a tag name. We got a tag name? Okay. Now it makes sense when you said by losing the item. Loosing the item. Yeah. When you said sad, when you get sad by losing the item. Ah, I see. Norok. Oh, I got it. It took me a little while, but I did get it. It took me just a little bit of time. Effect immune to emotional damage. Can't be intimidated, scared. Oh dear. Oh no. Here I can see it now. Thermal tolerance. You want to call it thermal tolerance? Fine. Thermal, not temporal. Thermal tolerance. Okay. Are we happy? Okay. All right. So we've got 6 more to do. Let's get some more in here. Okay. What about chill? Or cold? We'll just make it cold. It kind of takes me back to cold iron. Cold. Color. Cold. Color change. Cold. The item makes makes item is chilled and makes creatures and objects colder. How's that? Are we liking that one? We had to have something like it eventually. Do we have burrowing? We probably don't. See, it's an alphabetical, and if there's no B for burrowing, we probably don't have burrowing. Can pass through solid material at a certain movement rate. Faster for dirt. Okay, so let's can I pull it from here? We probably have it here. B for burrowing. No. And we've got dig. So we'll go to here. We'll go this. Copy. I'm going to cheat a little bit, people. Formatting. So we'll call it burrow. Burrow. The item allows the user to dig through solid material. At a normal speed. Yep, that's what you are after. We got it. Done. My security blanket. You want to put down your security blanket? My security blanket. How is my security blanket a property? Preservative makes something stay fresh longer. It's a good idea. Yeah. Preservative. Okay, 3 more. Or is it 6 more? Is it 4 more? P. I'm just teasing you. Preservative. 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 Here we go. Preservative makes something stay fresh indefinitely. I know that's a long time, but I'm putting it in. Preservative. Remote viewing can view locations far away for a limited time. Yep, remote. We can do that. Remote. Return remote. Throw in objects. Okay, something like that. So this is remote, isn't it? Remote viewing. The user can view, can see locations far away for a limited time. Got it. All right. Must be just about time for me to add something. Oh, no, I'm not going to get a chance. 2 more. Molecular reconstruction can change the limb that the item is worn. The limb that item is into a substance known only to the user. Don't we have something kind of like that already? Okay. let's just that is so weird. Okay. I should really be going. Let's do a little. I'm going to punch a couple of things in here. The user of the item has no shadow for a period of time. How's that? Is that all right? Okay. Jeez. Okay, the item creates bubbles. Shit. Creates bubbles. Bubbles in an area. All right. Well, there's 100. There's some that I have to fill in, but I'm out of time. Freaky. The item makes you look scary. Freaky. Well, that's kind of freaky. Is kind of like frighten, isn't it? Because we've got frighten already. The item causes fear in an animal, creature, or monster. It's the same thing. Causes the user to become drunk, inebriating. Okay, all right. Okay, so we definitely look. We're still going to come back to this, but clearly we're very, very close to having finished it. I think we've established that there are there's a lot there. That's an awful lot to have gotten done in one sitting, people. That is an enormous amount. Copy. And we'll put that in here. And that makes 101 with a whole bunch of spaces to still yet be filled in. But still, like, a really good job. Now, I want to point out one thing to you. I just wanted to show you something here. Now, it's not perfect, okay? But this book here, this is the Pathfinder. I'm not saying this book is great at doing everything, because it's not. This is Pathfinder, the Game Mastery Guide, 2nd edition. Now, when I do a review of it, one of the things I'm definitely going to point out is the fact that the magic item quirks... Do you see that? Do you see it? That's 100 different ideas on a table. Now, that's impressive. I really was quite impressed that they had a really decent table of different things that you could do with your magic items. So there's one aspect to that book that's really great, and that is the fact they came up with a 100 table of different magic quirks and item things. So I feel like we can potentially take this and have one that's for positive quirks and one that's for negative quirks. So we could have something that's sort of more keyed into magic item curses, or just detrimental effects, or just negative effects. Like negative effects would be a negative effect table would help balance all of our positive stuff. Do you know what I mean? So we might be different, dissecting some of the stuff out of that table into a new table, but I just wanted to point that out. I want a big, huge thank you to everybody today who's been part of this, because you guys have done fabulous job. Fabulous. I was really impressed. You're lighting the candle? No problems. I know you need to go. I need to go as well. Let me get my screen up. We are back tomorrow. We're doing the Hydra, and that means more monster motivations, people. We're going to finish that table, I'm hoping, or we'll at least get closer to it. If I remember right, we only had about 13 or 11 or 13 things we needed to add, and we were done. Monster motivations might be done very shortly. That'll be tomorrow. Hydra Monster, that's the one I want to talk about. Anyway, I want to just say, hey, a big thank you to my patrons who help support me so that I can keep doing this program and running it each week. It really does make a huge difference. I want to thank everybody who responded to the poll, everybody who's been communicating in the chat. You guys have been awesome. The fact that we actually got the table mostly done today is amazing, if you ask me. I really was not expecting that at all. Obviously, there's some tinkering left to be done. If you weren't able to take part in the poll or the chat and you're just watching, thank you very much. And if you're re-watching, even more big thank yous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, okay? Look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.